Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure as Chancellor to formally welcome you on behalf of the Senate and the Council to this congregation, this degree congregation here today. You're all very welcome. We're very pleased to see you all, a nice packed hall, and I'm sure we'll have a very enjoyable occasion. So for the moment, will you please sit down?
Honoured guests, parents, families, and of course graduating students. Today is a very special day, one of the most memorable of your lives. And as President and Vice Chancellor, I'm delighted to welcome you here to this degree congregation. We're together to celebrate years of hard work which have culminated in you receiving a degree. This is no mean feat. And you should be proud that you've graduated from one of the best universities in the country. This is a very special day for you, and my part in it is only small. It's a wonderful celebration for all of you, your parents, your supporters, as well as academic colleagues, and those who've taught you, either in person or through distance learning. As I was preparing what I might say today, I asked a few colleagues what I should include, and all I was given was a list of don'ts. Don't make it too long, don't make it too short, and don't ask for any more money. Hence, I decided in my short, you'll be pleased to hear, address, I would simply give you a couple of truths, say a little bit about the significance of your degree, and then end with 3 notes of thanks. The first truth is that you cannot comprehend yet how proud your parents and loved ones are to see you up here today. Yes, you know, of course, that they are proud, but the depth of that feeling will only become obvious to you once your role is reversed and you're sitting out there celebrating your own children stepping up to receive their degrees. This really is a momentous day. It's the culmination of years of education, the beginning of new careers, global travels, or some further postgraduate study. It marks the end of years of hard work and is the beginning of the next phase of your lives. The second truth is that you cannot yet appreciate the importance of your education, the skills you've acquired, the ability it's given you to question, to critique, debate, influence, innovate. University education is not about regurgitating facts. It's about challenging them, about solving problems, about seeking to use those skills to go on to make a difference. Yes, you have the ability to answer exam questions. You'll have some letters after your name, and you'll earn larger salaries as a result. Current estimates are around about £200,000 more. But much more importantly, you'll walk out of here equipped to face up to a range of challenges. We live in testing times. There's economic instability, cuts to public services, climate change, an ageing population, and conflict in many parts of the world. It's your generation who will have to deal with these challenges, and we hope that the knowledge and skills you've acquired at Leicester will equip you to do this effectively. Not the detailed knowledge that you furiously scribbled down in those exams, let's be honest, much of which you've already forgotten, but the ways of thinking, the thirst for innovative understanding, and the desire to improve the lot of those of you around you. It's important in today's difficult times that we recognise the value of higher education in the UK and the specific contribution that Leicester makes. Universities contribute around £70 billion per year to economic growth. We're the 3rd biggest export industry in the UK. We generate more income through training international students than the aircraft or pharmaceutical industries. Over 80% of the jobs created in the UK by 2020 will be in occupations with high percentages of graduate students. Specifically, for the University of Leicester, We're a leading university in the top 1% of universities in the world. We put around about £750 million into the local economy every year. And for every 100 people we employ at this university, and there are thousands, around 120 jobs are created in the local community. 6 months after graduation, something like a quarter of our university students are still living in the city, strengthening the local workforce and their skills. So we can be very proud of our achievements, both as a university and as a higher education sector more broadly. Of course, providing world-class education is a major part of what we do, but Leicester also has a strong reputation for its research. This was highlighted with the award of a Queen's Anniversary Prize for Higher and Further Education in 2014. These biennial awards are a highly prestigious part of the UK's national honours system and are among the highest form of national recognition open to a UK university. A prize winner must be able to demonstrate outstanding work at world-class level in order to receive an award. And this is the third time in 2 decades that the university has won the Queen's Anniversary Prize. Previously, we had awards in physics, astronomy, and genetics, and this time, perhaps unsurprisingly, the award was given for the discovery of Richard III, a project that the Guardian newspaper called one of the most successful UK media operations ever. A wonderful detective story, which involved scientists from many disciplines, not only finding the bones in the first place, but using DNA and genealogy to prove that they really were the bones of a king who ruled 500 years ago. And some of you will have seen the scoop in the Independent newspaper that the University of Leicester will be changing its name to King Richard University, that the student bar will be renamed Carnage at Bosworth, and that a university source was quoted as stating, "Our research shows that up to 10% of people in some countries aren't aware that it was the University of Leicester which found the skeleton of Richard III, and changing the name of the university is a natural next step." Of course, attentive readers amongst you will have noticed that the story ran on April the 1st. And while Richard III has been so very prominent, there are numerous other examples of world-leading research that are generated by Leicester academics on a daily basis. Recent examples include a cure for malaria. Our scientists have made huge strides in the fight against malaria. Just last week, our toxicology unit revealed a new way of fighting the disease using specific drugs which kill the malaria parasite and potentially offer a cure for this devastating illness. A mission to Mercury, an instrument designed and built by Leicester researchers which will help to unlock the secrets of Mercury's surface, has recently been shipped from our Space Research Centre to the European Space Agency, where it will be integrated with a spacecraft due to launch in 2017. And a lung cancer breath test. Leicester respiratory experts are trialling a potentially groundbreaking breath test to detect lung cancer in its early stages. It's not invasive, costs relatively little, and could double detection by 2020, saving up to 10,000 lives and £250 million of NHS money. The list could go on, and on a daily basis, I receive copies of more and more of these press releases of the wonderful science that our researchers are involved in. You'll be pleased to know that I'm coming to the end of my address, although I mentioned I also wanted to give 3 notes of thanks. First, as I noted at the start of my speech, your family will be incredibly proud to see you graduating here today, and their support and encouragement is a huge factor in your university experience. While some of you will have funded yourselves, your families would have probably given many of you financial, but certainly moral and emotional support throughout your university experience. Second, we should also give thanks to all the university staff who've supported, cajoled and encouraged you through these years. Universities are only as good as the staff that populate them, and for these staff it's been a privilege to educate you. Our academic colleagues are passionate about teaching. They love to engage with students and help you learn new ways of thinking about the world around you. But as I mentioned above, they are also researchers. They're creators of knowledge, as well as people trusted to pass that knowledge on. And it's when leading-edge research is integrated into teaching that they have the ability to really inspire. As you will have gradually realised, Rather than teaching you what you need to know, they aim to teach you how to learn what you need to know. But finally, it's also important for us to thank you, the students, who play a vital role in helping us learn more about the subjects we love. Through engaging with bright students, academics think deeply about the stories they're telling, refining their ideas about the world around us, how it works, and in some case doesn't work. So thanks to you for giving us the privilege of educating you over the last few years. We hope that you'll want to stay in touch, and in 6 months' time, you'll be receiving a survey asking how you're getting on. If you're currently looking for further study or employment, please remember that as a Leicester graduate, you'll continue to have free access to our award-winning career development service, who offer a range of specialist support and can help you with your first steps into the world of work or expand your academic horizons. Just one of the ways they're doing that is through an exclusive program called Graduate Gateway, which offers you the chance to gain professional work experience through paid, permanent and fixed-term opportunities with a range of organisations. So please keep in touch with the website if you'd like to engage with some of that. Of course, you're joining, or perhaps continuing, as the alumni of a successful institution, and we'll be keen to engage with you as ambassadors for the university and to keep you in touch with our latest developments. We hope you're going to be proud not only of your own achievements, but also proud of us as an institution. Education and the wisdom it imparts really is valuable beyond the simple financial benefit that it brings. You must realise that while you're graduating from Leicester, your education should and will continue. It's far from over. We've simply helped guide you along this path for a few years, and you, like us up here on the stage, still have much to learn. So, I congratulate you on the degrees you've obtained, wish you an enjoyable day, and on behalf of the whole university, I wish you every success in your future lives and careers. Thank you.
Douglas Fearon was born in Brooklyn, New York. American medical training is a postgraduate course, so doctors first study for a degree in another subject before starting their medical training. Douglas studied English literature at Williams College, Williamstown, Massachusetts. He also spent a lot of time on the football field, where he played as a quarterback. After graduation, Douglas stood at a crossroads. Should he pursue a career as an athlete or a poet? In fact, he decided on a third way. He followed his father into medicine, where his outstanding ability became apparent. Douglas studied medicine at Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, and obtained his MD in 1968. He stayed at Johns Hopkins University as an intern and resident for 2 years. During this time, he learned the excitement of being a physician. He focused particularly on rheumatology and was concerned by the fact that although the symptoms of arthritis could be treated, the long-term progress of the disease could not be altered. For the next 2 years, Douglas served as a major in the United States Army Medical Corps. He was posted to Vietnam for a year and received the Bronze Star Medal for meritorious service. In 1972, on demobilization, Douglas was appointed to a research fellowship at Harvard Medical School and a clinical post at Robert Bryan Hospital in Boston. For the next 15 years, Douglas specialized in studying fundamental immunology and its relationship to the treatment of arthritis. At the earlier part of this time, he also met his wife, Claire, who is here today. During these 15 years as a physician, Douglas treated a man for rheumatoid arthritis. Despite the fact that the patient had complete faith in his doctor and everything possible was done, the man died of the disease. Douglas reflected on how he could best help the patient. Should he be a physician who sensitively applies existing treatments, or be a scientist who carries out research leading to a better understanding of the disease and from that knowledge develops new treatments? At this second crossroads, he decided to turn his attention away from the patient and to concentrate on the disease. Douglas Fearon's research career began at Harvard in the laboratory of Frank Austin. The subject of his research was the innate immunity, and he made several seminal contributions to understanding the alternative complement immune system. In 1984, Douglas Fearon was appointed full professor at Harvard Medical School and deputy chair of the Department of Rheumatology and Immunology at Brigham Hospital. Professor Fearon became increasingly interested in the connections between innate and acquired immunity. In 1987, he returned to Johns Hopkins University as head of the Division of Molecular and Clinical Immunology. He started there a new immunology graduate program and successfully pursued research to determine the links between the innate and adaptive immune systems. One result of this work suggested modifications to vaccination, which massively improved its efficiency. In 1993, Professor Fearon moved his research to the University of Cambridge as head of the Wellcome Trust Immunology Unit. In Cambridge, Douglas rapidly built up a group making discoveries on cells involved in the immune system, and in 2003, he was appointed Sheila Jones Smith Professor of Immunology. Professor Fearon here faced a third crossroads, deciding on what his research should be. And he decided to study cancer immunology in collaboration with a former PhD student, also a professor at Cambridge, David Teverston. Pancreatic cancer shows few symptoms in its early stages. It is only diagnosed after it spreads to other parts of the body, when it is often too late. Survival rates are poor. In 2013, the National Cancer Institute estimated 45,000 Americans would contract pancreatic cancer, and 38,000 of them would die of the disease. This makes pancreatic cancer the fifth most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Clearly, pancreatic cancer is a major disease that is difficult to treat. In fact, just the sort of problem that fascinated Douglas Fearon. The immune system acts as our own personal police force, killing off any invading diseases. Cancer cells have found a way to protect themselves from attack by the immune system by forming a protective coat which acts as a roadblock to the immune system's police force. The Fearon group discovered that when cancer cells are treated with a drug called plerixafor, the cells shed their protective coat and are destroyed by the immune system. This is groundbreaking work, and we await developments over the next few years with excitement. Professor Simon Wagner of the Department of Cancer Studies and Professor Wilhelm Schwebel of the School of Biological Sciences at the University of Leicester are former colleagues of Professor Fearon, and I know that both are deeply grateful for the guidance and inspiration he has given them. In 1999, Professor Fearon was elected Fellow of the Royal Society, and in 2001, he was elected member of the National Academy of Sciences. Both honours reflect the breadth and depth of his research on the immune system, and most recently on a new treatment for pancreatic cancer. Mr. Chancellor, on the authority of the Senate and the Council, I present Douglas Fearon that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Science.
Douglas, congratulations to you. What a CV that is. Many, many congratulations.
Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, graduands, honored guests. The question is, how did I come to be here? And that's what I would like to reflect on with you for a few minutes. It's obviously through the friends that one makes and the opportunities that arise by chance from those friendships. Dr. Jenkins mentioned Simon Wagner, and Wilhelm Schwebel. They are among two of the colleagues that I've been very fortunate to work with or whose research to read. But I actually would like to start back in 1972 when I, as Paul said, started my postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard Medical School, having a vague sense I wanted to do immunology because that was the basis of autoimmune disease. And I went to a lab with no idea what to do and was assigned to work in complement, a series of plasma proteins that mediate some aspects of innate immunity. Well, that was the first element of chance in my career that led to me meeting Peter Lockman and Keith Peters, who were at the Hammersmith at that time, working in basic and clinical aspects of complement. Now, I had no idea what long-term consequences that developing friendship and academic association would lead to, but in 1992, my career had progressed, things were fine. But I was at a meeting in Cambridge, and now Keith Peters and Peter Lockman had moved to Cambridge. Peter is the Sheila Jones-Smith Professor of Immunology, Keith Peters as the Regents Professor of Physics. And during the meeting, Peter asked me, I had recently moved academically from one place to another, and Peter said, well, how are things going? And I said, well, they could be better. A chance comment. Peter passed it on to Keith. Keith then came and saw me. He said, well, if there's a 10% chance, come to Cambridge, look. I don't expect anything, just even if it's a 10% chance. Well, I came and looked, and Keith is very persuasive, but believes in excellence. And I felt that was an institution I wanted to be associated with. And it was that move that was crucial in the further development of my career, because I also met a person named Michael Neuberger. Michael was a remarkable immunologist, a member of the Laboratory of Molecular Biology, which was actually separate from the university, and a fellow at Trinity College. And over the years, I actually had my lab, university space in the LMB, but I interfaced with the excellence that the LMB stands for and the long-term view of research questions. And then through Michael, I was introduced to Trinity, and that played an essential role, which I'll now come to. Now, one of the right reasons for moving to Cambridge, and this relates to when you think about your careers, I felt here was a chance to really do something different than my reasonable but not terribly exciting career. And I'd been in Cambridge from '93 till about 2007, 2006. I said, gee, I've not taken the advantage of Cambridge yet. I really should do something different. Coming toward the end of my career, I haven't done anything yet. And for various reasons, I thought about tumor immunology. And so I let my lab go down. People who were working on something else left, and I started to build up the lab again, and I went 3 years without a publication, which is a death sentence in America and may become that here. But I dined at Trinity High Table several evenings a week, and there was a retired medieval philologist named Dennis Green, whom I became close to. And I said, Dennis, I've not published anything for 3 years. He said, don't worry. When I first came here, I read for 8 years, and then I started writing. So I accepted that mature view of scholarship, and finally something happened. The other element related to this chance and friendship is Peter Lockman was the Sheila Jones Smith Professor of Immunology, and I, as you heard from Paul, became that. And the chair had a substantial endowment, so I did not have to ask for outside research support for this change in direction to tumor immunology, which I'm certain would not have been granted, because I had no preliminary data, I had no track record in this area of immunology. But again, that was an element of chance in my career. So I think my final comment is, and it's probably whistling in the wind, you cannot plan your career through mission statements. You cannot plan your career through 5-year careful planning of this is what I'll do in 6 months, this is what I'll do in 12 months. You've got to open yourself up to the elements of chance which occur through the friends that you meet. Thank you very much.
Will all graduates please stand?
And now, on the authority of the Senate, I admit all candidates, both present and absent, to the several degrees for which they are presented. Now, will you please be seated?
Mr. Chancellor, as Acting Head of the College of Arts, Humanities and Law, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Doctor in Philosophy, Anna Booth. Yvonne Conejo. Antonino Crisa. Hayley Dunn. Ahmad Emraj. Maria Gonzalez Rodriguez. Mohammed Hussain. Suzanne Mitchell. Sarah Newstead. Laura Nicotra. For the degree of Master of Arts in the Classical Mediterranean, Fiona Somerville. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Ancient History and Archaeology, Katie Ackers. Lauren Bingley. Winner of the first year Archaeology Prize, Thomas Byett. Hedi Bohani Langraudi. Winner of the Dorothy Buchan Ancient History Dissertation Prize, Samir Batish Serrano. Gareth Carmichael. Joanna Collins. Georgia Day. Winner of the second year Ancient History Prize, Rachel Deans. Rebecca Goodson. Eleanor Hare. Tamara Irish. Declan Jones. Maximilian Kearney. Owen Lazari. Anna McBride. Jennifer McNulty. Rowan Meads. Thomas Middleton. Charlotte Owen. Brian Oxspring. Shannon Spence. Hannah Williams. Nicola Jane Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Ancient History and Archaeology with a year abroad, Isabel Ward. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Ancient History and History, winner of the Arnold Wickham Gom Prize, John Paul Anderson. Michaela Caulfield. Edward Cody. Daniel Glasper. Emily Gurney. Rachel Holland. Emily Kelsey. Rachel Kidd. Sophie Lamb. Ben Lawrence. Ian Legg. Derek MacDonald. Anthony Morgan. Daisy Orrell. Gino Ragnoli. Paul Richards. Benjamin Richardson. Elliot Rowland. Robert Salt. Jessica Sayers. Paul Souchon. Patrick Spillane. Winner of the West End Memorial Prize and the College of Arts, Humanities and Law Prize, Alexander Thomas. Ben Wormald. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Ancient History and History with a year abroad, Gilbert Amanere. Winner of the John Watcher Dissertation Prize in Roman Studies, Rory Lowe. Winner of the Professor W.H. Brock Prize, the West End Memorial Prize, the D.T. Williams Memorial Prize, the Medieval Research Centre Prize in memory of A.G. and A.L. Postles, and the H.J. Diaz Prize, Alistair Sutherland. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Archaeology, Jane Brewer. Robert Cullum. Andrea Lee. Xia-Ying Lee. Dominic Lopez. Patricia Stewart. Reinhilde van Gool. Ro Yi O. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Archaeology, Athena Avizalopoulos. Winner of the Samuel and Rachel May Prize in Archaeology, the Garner Prize, and the Dame Rosemary Cramp Dissertation Prize, Bethan Boulter. Akshay Desai. John Deers. For the degree of Bachelor of Art in European Studies, Tracy Aguimen. Boyana Karakuleva. Kate Mostyn. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies and English, Elizabeth Adjatula. Benazir Anwar. Charlotte Bromwich. Laura Franklin. Lucia Garcia Perez. Laura Garner. Philippa Head. Edward Kay. Winner of the Jean and Arthur Humphreys Prize, Megan O'Donnell. Connor Winterton. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies and Visual Arts, Alben Taldemi. Winner of the Peter Baxter Prize, Jessica Carpenter. Winner of the R.M. Banks Prize and the College of Arts, Humanities and Law Prize, Christopher Horn. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in French and English, Bethany Amos. Alice Bailey Johnson. Lucinda Bardoshi. Rachel Carmen. Jasmine Elliott. Jessica Garnett. Aaron Ramsbottom. Jessica Ramsdale. Isabel Staniajek. Nadine Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in French and Italian, Francesca Kelsall. Winner of the McWilliam Memorial Prize, Daniela Martinella. Lauren Sweetman. Chloe Williams. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in French and Spanish, winner of the Prix de la Fondation Pro Helvetia, Linda Aradi. Winner of the Prix Wallonie-Bruxelles International, Liane Barber Castagnaro. Jenny Barker. Lucy Bent. Joanna Bilcliffe. Winner of the Leslie Sykes Prize and the Prix de l'Ambassade de France, Anna Buchanan. Beth Cambridge. Paninda Kaur. Laura Keeble. Alexander Knight. Jasmine Lambert. Winner of the Prix Wallonie-Bruxelles International, Amy Lavender. Winner of the Prix Wallonie-Bruxelles International, Rebecca Mann. Winner of the Premio Cervantes, Shannon Miller. Catherine Mulhan. Tamsin Parker. Natalie Sarkis. Elliot Watson. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in History of Art, Ryan Blakely. Jessica Bootle. Natasha Bramall. Lorna Byrne. Winner of the Georgina Coltart History of Art Italy Field Trip Prize, Daniel Etherton. Winner of the Luke Herman Prize and the Willis Memorial Prize, Lily Greensmith. Charlotte Mead. Claire Preval. Katie Robinson. Simran Sera. Alexander Statham. Abigail Terry. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in History of Arts with a year abroad, Lucy Buckley. Suzanne Moores. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Italian and Spanish, Chloe Dolby. Catherine English. Victoria Perry. Winner of the McWilliam Memorial Prize, Daniel Taylor Protopapa. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Modern Language Studies with a year abroad, Rosanna Amanante. Matthew Dakin. Winner of the West End Memorial Prize, the Prix Quebec Leicester, the Prix de l'Ambassade de France, the Premio Hispanidad, the College of Arts, Humanities and Law Prize, and the Prix de la Fondation Pro Helvetia, Amanda Hinks. Thomas Jellings. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Modern Languages with History of Art, Eleonora Blazin Minguez. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Modern Languages with Management with a Year Abroad, Grace Oldsley. Fatmata Bangura. Ashley Bennett. Winner of the Prix Quebec Leicester, Lauren Cooper. Roxana Humapol. Winner of the Prix Quebec Leicester, Lucinda Hurst. Winner of the Prix Wallonie Bruxelles International, Asha Mistry. Marta Pedonera Parente da Silva. Francesca Rebello. Adishri Sharma. Michael Sharp. Hannah Sutcliffe. Winner of the Swiss Council for the Arts Book Prize, Rian Thomas. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Modern Languages with Management and English as a Foreign Language, Yu Chen Liu. Medain Obedeskaite. Rui Wang. Yardan Zheng. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Spanish and English, Sarah Abdullah. Yen Yen Fu. Oda Kanau. Erica Martins. Charlotte Smith. Michael Silepes. Natalie Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in French and Spanish, Stefan Warburton.
Keith Waddell's career and achievements remind the detached observer of great Christian missionaries and healers like Nobel Peace Prize winner Albert Schweitzer, though Keith himself, being a modest man, would categorically reject the comparison. For half a century, motivated both by his faith and by his calling as a doctor, he has brought healing, particularly of eye conditions, to people in Africa. Keith Waddell has Africa in his blood. His great-grandparents had migrated to the Cape in the late 19th century as farmers and as miners, and Keith himself was born in what was then Rhodesia. His teenage years, however, were spent in London, and he was educated at the University of Oxford, graduating in 1961 with the degrees, like those being awarded today, of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. He then completed his clinical training at St Bartholomew's Hospital in Southampton. But the prospect of a steady career as a hospital doctor or general practitioner in the UK, valuable though those things are, was clearly not going to be sufficient. In 1964, Keith was commissioned as a missionary by the African Inland Mission, with the intention of serving in Congo. But that country was then engulfed in civil war, and he was diverted to Uganda, which had gained its independence only 2 years previously. Congo's loss has been very much Uganda's gain. At this point, it is perhaps worth pausing to note that Uganda, to this day, is one of the poorest countries in the world, being ranked 178th out of 198 countries by gross domestic product. According to the World Health Organization, expenditure per capita on health is only about £21 a year. The comparable figure for the United Kingdom is £2,000. So there was no shortage of things for the young Dr. Waddell to do. At first, he provided general medical assistance wherever it was needed. In 1970, he returned to the UK as a registrar at Barts, took a diploma in tropical medicine and hygiene, and went back to Uganda in 1972, still as a general physician, but also as leprosy doctor for southwest Uganda. This was the period in which, thanks to new treatments, leprosy was effectively eliminated. But it was also the period in which Uganda was ruled by Idi Amin. Health services did not flourish, and new developments were virtually impossible. Keith, however, is not a man to ignore a challenge, and it had become apparent to him that he was constantly encountering eye conditions and blindness which were treatable and preventable, but for which there was no local provision. This is where the connection with Leicester began. In the immediate post-Amin era, he was invited to speak here, and he subsequently trained at the Leicester Royal Infirmary as an ophthalmic senior house officer. He returned to Uganda in 1982 and set up that country's first eye service, consisting of Keith, one assistant, a suitcase, travelling the country on the back of lorries. Originally, the emphasis of his work was on such conditions as cataracts, but it has never been enough for Keith simply to treat and move on. He saw it as critical to educate and to build up an infrastructure which could sustain the Ugandan eye service for the future. At first, this meant training village health workers and getting the patients to those people. Now, the service's main hospital is sufficiently advanced to be capable of training postgraduate specialist eye doctors. It is evidence of the success of his work that many of Keith's patients, orphans or from poor families, have gone on to train as nurses, health workers, and in other professions. Indeed, as Keith himself has said, the assistant who hands me the instruments when I'm operating, I first met as a blind boy. In addition to cataracts, the conditions treated included allergic conjunctivitis and glaucoma. It is unremitting work. Keith quotes a Ugandan colleague, "We're called medical experts, but the truth is we're medical nextperts. Next patient, next patient, next patient, all day long." A Leicester friend and colleague who visited Keith last year described the work vividly. "It was Free Eye Week last week, and the patients flooded in. Keith and his team operated on 368 people. Keith tends to see the difficult cases, primarily children, and personally operated on over 100. 12 hours a day in the operating theatre, and he is 78 years old. Many of those seen have cataracts, and it is a wonder that 300 people who could barely distinguish night from day on Monday can now all see again at a cost of €5 per operation." As the work has developed, so the complexity of the conditions which Keith and his colleagues are tackling has increased. Retinoblastoma, an aggressive cancer affecting the eyes of young children, can generally be treated in the West, but was often fatal in Uganda because there was no capacity to follow up surgery with radiotherapy. Now, assisted by organisations in this country, including Cancer Research UK, health workers are increasingly able to reach patients in their distant villages and arrange for them to receive further hospital treatment if necessary. This has also involved clinical research, initiating the use of chemotherapy in Uganda for this condition. One of the many outstanding features of Keith's career has been his ability to balance clinical work in the most difficult conditions with highly regarded research, perhaps best reflected in the award of a Doctorate of Medicine by the University of Oxford for a study of the relationship between conjunctival carcinoma and HIV. Nor have his activities been limited to Uganda or to the purely medical. He and his team travelled to South Sudan, Rwanda, and, appropriately given his initial plans 50 years ago, to Congo. And his commitment to the general well-being and education of children is reflected in his Disadvantaged Youngsters project, now running for 4 decades, and in the naming of a community school for 200 children in his honour. He has also contributed to clinical teaching here in Leicester and to clinical service at the Royal Infirmary. All this work is underpinned by a deep and abiding faith and a recognition that Christ responded to people's physical needs as well as their spiritual ones. Appropriately, there was a service of thanksgiving for Keith last year at Ruharo Cathedral, followed by celebrations which included singing and dancing by 50 orphans and former patients whom Keith had assisted. We cannot quite match that today. It is not surprising that among his many other distinctions is an honorary fellowship of the Royal College of Ophthalmologists, or that when Her Majesty the Queen appointed him first a member and then a commander of the Order of the British Empire, Keith had his doubts about the propriety of missionaries accepting such honours. It is to be hoped that he has no such qualms now, as it is our turn to recognise a man who, when he is not overseas, lives a couple of miles away from this hall in Oadby. At this congregation, and in front of so many young people about to start their lives in medicine, he offers us an inspiring model of what can be achieved by one man who has devoted his life to bringing sight and health to thousands in need on the other side of the world. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Keith Mortimer Waddell, that you may confer on him the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
Well done, Keith. I've never heard a reception like that. Just terrific. Well done. Yeah.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, distinguished visitors, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow graduands. Firstly, I would like to thank the University very warmly indeed for this honour, both to myself and to my fellow workers in Africa. We are deeply grateful. I would also like to thank the orator for his very generous speech and about my life and motivation. I just wish I deserved it all. Also, I want to thank my fellow workers in Africa, without whom I could do nothing. They aren't here, of course, today, but I hope with the net, within a few days, they will see something of this. And so if you, my fellow workers, are out there in cyberspace today, this is for you also. Thank you. My congratulations to my fellow graduands. I vividly remember when I graduated many, many years ago now, and although I still call myself qualified and graduated, I'm also proud to boast that this year I am a 60th year medical student. You're lifelong learners. See if you can beat 60 years. Now, I appreciate that you, the medical graduates here, are being trained to keep going our wonderful, wonderful National Health Service. But although I did all my training under the NHS, I have worked in these faraway places all my life, as you have heard. And I want in my very brief few minutes here to put in an appeal, a plea for the rest of the world. I suppose it's slightly subversive propaganda, but never mind. You know, we live in a world that is desperately, desperately unfair, and the benefits we enjoy as our natural rights, especially in healthcare, are just unknown to the two-thirds world, the billions out there who have almost nothing that we have. It's been vividly illustrated recently by the Ebola crisis. Arguably, the most important medical advance that faces us at the present day is not all the glamour projects like personalized genomics or implantable chips, etc., etc. The most important thing is just to bring what we already know and take it to these billions in the two-thirds world so that they can share some of the benefits we already have. I'm also glad to hear, for example, about this research on malaria, because malaria is still the #1 killer of children in Africa, 800,000 deaths a year. Now, I'm sure if I say this, that about let's consider the rest of the world as well, straight away you're thinking what I once thought, well, I want a serious career. I don't want a career in the outback as a dead end, far away from all centers of excellence. Well, I thought like that as well. However, I think I can say the fact that I have the privilege of standing here today is proof that careers, work in these faraway, harder places are by no means a dead end. Paradoxically, because we start so far behind in the third world, the two-thirds world, the tropics, we have huge, huge space in which to develop services, to develop research, and to make a real difference. I was glad that the President spoke of making a difference in training, because that's what we can do. The orator has mentioned several of these things. Just at the risk of blowing my own trumpet, I'll just go over a few of them. When I went to Uganda, measles was a killing and a blinding disease. Polio was making many people crawl on the floor with withered limbs. Back in the 60s, the vaccines came, we started rolling them out with other people, and now those diseases have gone. In the 70s, in Idi Amin's era, as we have heard, I was in charge of all the leprosy patients in southwest Uganda. I had 5,000 patients. But the new treatment had come, the new antibiotics, multi-drug therapy. We started to roll it out 10 years before WHO made it official. And now leprosy has gone from Uganda and many other African countries. Just think of it, this ancient, dreaded scourge is gone. We're making a dent on maternal and child mortality, which are still terrible figures. And as you've heard, I'm now in eye work. 20 million people in the world blind with cataract. In 10 minutes, in a remote place, we can give them from blindness into normal sight with our lens implant operation. 10 million people with trachoma in pain, going blind. The figures are mind-boggling. We've got a long way to go, but we're making a dent. Retinoblastoma, you've been hearing about it. The kids no longer all die. We have quite a high success rate with chemotherapy. Now, forgive me for blowing my own trumpet, but I think you get the message. These are not careers, dead-end careers, in the backwoods. These can be very productive and fulfilling careers. So my congratulations to my fellow graduands, and I wish you the best as you go on to keep our wonderful National Health Service going. But I do hope in coming years we shall also see some of you out in these harder but very exciting places. Thank you, and thank you again to the University for the award.
Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, as Head of the College of Medicine, Biological Sciences and Psychology, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, Rebecca Ayres. Atinuki Akumalayan. Afifa Ali Hassan. Alison Beach. Mariam Farouk. Winner of the Peace Cotton Prize, Imogen Harper. Carl Holden. Winner of the Bert Thurston Prize, Callum Johnson. Oliver Jones. Winner of the Peace Cotton Prize, Syra Kazmi. William Manning, Jonathan O'Doherty, Rasin Athabapapi Rajmohan, Bobak Sabzavari, Danielle Rishler Potts, Sam Romain, Niraj Shamani, winner of the Frida Redford Prize in Cardiovascular Sciences, Abhishek Shetye, Lewis Turner, Zachary Tyler, Elizabeth Ward, Joseph Willis. For the degree of Bachelor of Medical Science, Bobak Sabzavari. For the degrees of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, Rida Abbas. Liana Abdrashid. Noor Abdul Rahman. Nagushan Abimanui. Shisha Abu Bakr. Winner of the elective prize, David Abimidun. Kashfa Afzal. Ahmed Bazli. Nabil Ahmed. Imran Ahmed. Saeed Ahmed. James Akajoyi. Zara Al-Hubeshi. Winner of the Arthritis and Rheumatism Prize, Ahmed Al-Sukaini. Kerry Anderson. Rebecca Annis. Salim Ansari. Jessica Anyan Brown. Mohammed Arif. Edward Artley. Winner of the Arthritis and Rheumatism Prize, Moshin Azam. Stephen Bailey. Winner of the elective prize, Alexandra Bamford. Sarah Bashir. Kirsty Bates. Winner of the Philip Hammersley Gold Medal, Richard Baxter. Soliana Bakali. Amy Bennett. Georgina Bennett. Michael Biggs. Surud Bilolokar. Ahmed bin Ahmed Nawawi. Daniel Blythe. Jonathan Bodley Scott. Clara Booth. Ishmet Boral. Catherine Bowen. Joshua Bruin. Ruth Brewster. Helen Brodie. Nicole Brooms, Mark Brown, Rebecca Browning, winner of the Noel Everson Surgical Prize, Sean Bulstrode. Ashley Burge, Victoria Burrows, Laura Butler, Mohammed Books, Daisy Carter, Matthew Charlwood, Subhana Chowdhury, Philip Cheng, Ashley Chung, Chi Chua, Sarah Curtin, Rebecca Cuttle, winner of the Noel Everson Surgical Prize, Martha de la Cruz Monroy, Sarah Jane De Silva, winner of the elective prize, Claire Deakin, Aaron Dean, Ramzana Dean, Riti Desai, Sally Devine, winner of the Just Fair Trade Prize, Paul Dodds, Nicola Duffy, Alexandra Dunlop, winner of the John McVicar Prize and Medal, Joe Esland, winner of the College of Medicine, Biological Sciences and Psychology Prize and the BMA Prize, Junaid Farid, winner of the Prize for Academic Excellence, Hannah Ferrington, winner of the College of Medicine, Biological Science and Psychology Prize, Catherine Francis. Fanida Fung, James Garrard, Amrit Gill, John Gill, Dominic Gould, Emma Graham, Robert Grange, Thomas Green, Ali Habib, Azar Hafiz, Salma Hafiz, Jack Haig, Siti Nursi Yamime Haji Abu Bakr, Khalil Hamdoulay, Atiyeh Hamedani, David Havard, Charlotte Hayden, Richard Hazlitt, Mohammed Herika, Melanie Ann Holder, Jennifer Hong, Lucy Horn, winner of the Carl Zeiss Prize and the Sidney Brandon Prize and Medal in Psychiatry, Catherine Hull, Hassan Hussein, Ibras Hussein, Mira Irenji, Robert Jackson, Sakina Jivanji, Drupti Georgia, Asiya Jahari, Edward Jones, Leah Jones, Krishnan Joseph, Kushal Joshi, Mohit Joshi, Mohammed Junaid, Mahal Kawata Gamage, Charlotte Kelly, Morris Kemple, Elizabeth Kershaw, Asad Khan, Farah Khan, Muhammad Khan, Pia Khan, Christopher King, William Nibbs, Kirsty Knight, Gurdeep Kokri, Manaj Kuna, Elena Ladiku, Patrick Little, Bo Liu, winner of the GlaxoSmithKline Child Health Prize, Eleanor Love. Anita Lukianska, Noor M. Kamal, Natasha Malcolm, Anum Malik, Yassine Malik, Sarah Mansour, Nicholas Marsh, Benjamin Martin, winner of the Very Reverend Derek Hall Prize in Cardiovascular Medicine, Christopher Martin, Marlene Massiboy, Huzaifa Masood, Charlotte Makara, Emily Meacham, Natalie Mills, Zara Minas, Mohammed Mirza, Jignesh Mistry, Ravi Mistry, Manish Mittal, Zulkifl Muhammad, Andrew Noncour, winner of the Ballantyne Prize, Sarah Morman, Iona Mullen, Manisha Manyal, winner of the Sidney Brandon Prize and Medal in Psychiatry, Laura Myers, Namitha Naidu, winner of the Keeler Prize, Annika Nanda, Sidra Nawaz, Haida Naweed, Angeline Ng, Adwoan Natrakwa, Omalola Odorinde, Francis Okuro, Peng Wei, Winner of the Philip Hammersley Gold Medal and the BMA Prize for Clinical Excellence, Sarah Oram. Enitan Oyewole. Priyanthini Pakinathan. Andreas Pakigiotopoulos. Calva Pang. Louise Parker. Rakesh Palmer. Ashish Patel. Manoj Patel. Vijay Patel. Abigail Payne. Winner of the Everson Surgical Prize and the Boyle Surgical Prize, Lewis Peake. Sarah Pennington. Rebecca Perry. Liam Phelan. Victoria Phillips. Francis Pollen. Samuel Pollen. Annika Prashar. Fritha Price. Georgina Pudge. Shyam Pujara. Gaurav Puwaha. Sean Rang. Winner of the Philip Hammersley Gold Medal, Ewan Rees. Sabia Raymond. Claire Rewage. Megan Ridgway. Emma Sabin. Divpreet Sasha. Tahir Saeed. Anindaya Sanyal. Marsha Saray. Thomas Scriven. Karthik Kumar Selva Kumar. Sandeep Selmi. Annika Shah. Priyanka Shah. Urmi Shah. Mohammed Shaheed. Ruth Shanley. Nuran Sheikh. Poppy Shelton. Aisha Shadiqua. Qasim Ram Singh. Winner of the Frank Harris Prize, Jake Smith. Helen Michelle Spindler. Matthew Story. Charlie Strachan. Gemma Street. Cassandra Streeter. Sorry.
Congratulations.
Sorry, we didn't hear your name. Matthew Studdard. Sophia Surtee. Blake Sykes. Morgan Sykes. Helen Talbot. Sarah Tanaja. Caroline Taylor. Emily Taylor. James Tier. Charu Tanvi. Leola Thomas Churnside. Winner of the Ballantyne Prize, Chloe Thompson. Jamie Thompson. Francis Tippins. Chieng Yi To. Lauren Toms. Samuel Turnbull Johnson. Hussein Arabi. David Vaughan. Ria Verma. Ali Wahar. Hassan Waka. Josephine White. Nicola Wybra. Winner of the Roche Pharmaceuticals Prize, Alice Wignall. Katie Wilkinson. Emily Williams. Kelly Williams. Zach Wilson. Thomas Wood. Imogen Woods. David Woolley. Emma Wright. Rachel Wright. Motahari Yadagathar. Tan Mai Ying. Sayara Yusuf. Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, I present to you this academic colleague who has been nominated for a Distinguished Teaching Fellowship Award for his commitment to the enhancement of undergraduate medical education, notably through the incorporation of innovative electronic tools for the teaching of communication skills within the Leicester Medical Schools. Andrew Ward. Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, I now invite a representative of those whom you have admitted today to the degrees of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery to come forward to the platform in order that he may lead them in the affirmation of the Declaration of Geneva. The declaration is on page 57 of the programme.
Will graduates in the degrees of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery please stand?
At the time of being admitted as a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledged to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me, even after the patient has died. I will maintain by all the means in my power the honour and the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my sisters and brothers. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honour.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've done us proud today. That's been a terrific ceremony. It has the cheering and the whooping and that very solemn, of course, declaration at the end, which makes this a special ceremony in its own right. Thank you all so much for contributing so much to it. A bit of noise and a bit of shouting and a bit of cheering and a wonderful cheering at the end, I thought, which I hope you'll replicate when I've finished my few remarks. I have to say as well as the audience, I do think the two honorary graduates today have done us proud. I know they serve a noble profession, so they've got quite a head start over a politician, but it's certainly something that, listening to the tributes to them, to Douglas for the areas in which he's conducted his research, immune systems and their relationship with cancer and all we heard about pancreatic cancer. I mean, to spend your life working on subjects like that, the benefit to hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of people is obvious. And I love the message that he gave you. It's something I'll say a word about in a moment, about, as he put it, the importance of chance and friendship in life, and chance can certainly be a very big factor. And then we heard from Keith. I can only describe what he said as inspirational. I thought that when I read his CV, as it were, beforehand, see someone who'd spent time with 6,000 plus patients suffering from leprosy in Uganda, you think, my word, that's not a bad thing to say as you look back on a career. But I thought his message and the words he had to say were inspirational. So I'd say to our two honorary graduates that it's not so much we're honouring you by offering you an honorary degree. You've honoured us from your background and life, career and achievements. You've honoured us in accepting the degree, and I think we should acknowledge that. It really has been a happy day for students and staff. You must have felt good coming up on the stage, some of you. I mean, the list of prizes that one or two of you achieved, and there was time to have a cup of tea while they were being read out, really. There was, it was very impressive indeed. But in essence, of course, today has been a celebration at the conclusion of what has sometimes must have seemed quite a long journey for some of you. And I just wonder for a moment how you felt when you began your degree. I can remember it. I got my degree here 50-odd years ago and sat in this hall and came up and shook hands with someone I hadn't the faintest idea who it was. And I can only say to you that I can still remember starting out and arriving in Leicester and not knowing the city or the people or anything connected with it. And you look round and you think, are they all much brighter than me on this course? Have I done the right course? Have I come to the right place? There's always the odd one, of course, who looks bright and cocky and confident from the start. Can be a bit painful, but for most people, it's something which is daunting. Well, I would simply say that first, since that very first day, just think of all the challenges you've met and surpassed. the courses, the field work, the exams, and now you've crossed the finishing line. So to all of you who've completed this part of your journey, I say very well done indeed. Your degree is a badge of achievement, of ability, of endeavour. It's recognised as such nationally and internationally. No one can take it away. It will always be there for you, giving real confidence in your abilities and perhaps most of all in your capacity to face challenges and to succeed. So you've every reason to be proud of today and your degree as well. And I hope you'll feel proud of this, yours, mine, our university. It's nearly 60 years since Leicester University was established, and in that time it's gone from strength to strength, both in size and reputation. And despite its huge growth, when I came here there were 2,000 students, there are now well over 20,000. It's retained a real sense of community. We consistently show strong league table performances in teaching and in student satisfaction. And we're a university enriched by students from around the world and from the widest range of backgrounds. Amongst leading universities, we score strongly on government inclusivity benchmarks for students from state schools, from parts of the country with historically low levels of university entrance, and from families where no one previously had attended a university. And we are famous. My word, this year we are famous, Leicester University. There can be few pieces of research which have achieved the national and international publicity, not to mention the massive public interest has been of our discovery and verification of the King in the Car Park. Only last week I attended a prestigious Royal Society summer exhibition in London, which held the display of, and I'm quoting this citation from the Royal Society, the 22 most exciting, cutting-edge science and technology achievements in the United Kingdom, and we were one of them. And there was tremendous interest, I might say, in the presentation made there by our staff. So I hope that when you move on from Leicester, you'll all feel a warm glow, as I do, whenever the work of the university which we attended is recognised and acclaimed, because, to coin a phrase, we're all in this together. So I never mind applause. I'd also like to say on behalf of the university staff here on the stage, a word of thanks to all of you graduating. Staff owe a great debt to students for the questions they ask, for the insights and the enthusiasm that they offer, and that's a characteristic of students throughout the generations. Students, in truth, are a teaching resource. As a teacher, you appreciate so much the many students who you know are going to go on in life to do interesting things, and you always feel pride in their achievements. So I simply say to all of you graduating, on behalf of the staff of the university, that as well as congratulating you all, we also say thank you for the contribution that you have made to the developing and continuing success of Leicester University. And I should say as well another word of thanks to the other part of our audience today. You've been terrific as well, you really have, and it's great to see a full house here in this hall. The friends, family and supporters of those of you who have graduated. You've been a great audience, and thank you all so much for attending today. Thank you as well for the encouragement and support that you've given to our students over the years. You have every right to share in the sense of pride in their success, and I hope that for you today has been both memorable and enjoyable. And finally, and looking to the future, I want to say to all of you who have graduated today, good luck. That echoes some of the comments you've heard earlier on. Some say, of course, that luck is one of life's most important ingredients. We're all pretty lucky to live in a country with a national health service, as has been remarked upon already. I certainly know that my own life in politics, that a few votes one way or the other can be the difference between triumph and disaster in the General election on May the 7th this year, some candidates won by a few votes and entered the Palace of Westminster in triumph, and others lost by a few votes and unceremoniously packed their bags and left. Political biographies are full of unplanned turning points, chance, circumstance, and of being in the right place at the right time, and that applies to so many other aspects of life as well. So luck is a huge factor, but I know that the degree that you've been awarded today will have shifted the odds substantially in your favour for whatever lies ahead. And just to put everything in perspective, this is something I wait till the end of everyone having received their degrees and preparing to depart. It mustn't say this any earlier because the conclusion from it might be wrongly drawn. I have 3 friends that I made in Leicester 50 years ago. We keep in touch once or twice a year, and of the 4 of us, far and away, the most successful, certainly in financial terms, was the one who failed his degree. But whatever the future holds, I hope you'll keep in touch with your university and tell us what you're doing, because of course your success, at least in part, is our success as well. Your predecessors over more than half a century have contributed massively to making Leicester University the fine institution that it is today, and I know that you'll all be adding to that. So to all of you, the simple message: well done, thank you, and in the years ahead, every possible success. I'm happy to stand here as long as you clap. So all remains for me to do now is formally, as Chancellor, to declare this degree congregation closed.
Thank you.